Hello and welcome back to the Daily Weekly YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another interview, this time with good friend Ridley, who also runs his own FilmIsRidley Instagram account where he reviews movies and things like that. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay, it's
back
good.
again.
Back again, yes, this time in person, so that's good. And, at the end I do have something to give to you. Yes, finally.
Finally.
Yes. So, yeah, you know how these interviews work. I've been interviewed, Rachel's been interviewed, Natasha's been interviewed, so if you haven't seen them yet, go check them out. We've got a playlist. Yeah, you won't be not disappointed. You'll enjoy it, so go check them out. Okay, so first of all, for those of those viewers who don't know who you are, just sort of introduce yourself.
Sure, yeah, I'm Ridley. Yeah, I've got to give you the customary fact of named after Ridley Scott, it's literally born in me to be loving films, rather pretentious, I know. I am a film student all the way up in Worcester, which is about 100 miles north, not literally that way, but you know what I mean. Probably that way, actually.
Probably that way, yeah.
And I major in screenwriting, minor in film production, joint honours, just finished my second year of that, going into my third. It's all going pretty well, doing lots of writing and all that jazz. As alluded to, I have a FilmIsRidley kind of thing, which I do on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, mainly Instagram if I'm honest. I post all sorts of spoiler-free reviews, all that fun stuff, And then I also do this.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, you do.
I think that's about it.
So, just kind of going off your namesake, I suppose.
Yeah.
And has it always been a passion of yours, film, or did you kind of feel like this is what I need to do?
I've never felt a need per se. I wouldn't say it was my immediate passion. I've always loved films. But when I was younger, if I'm on it, I wanted to be a racing driver.
Yeah.
Because I was a big Formula 1 fan.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the next Jensen Button kind of thing. He was my favourite driver. I wanted to win races and all that.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. And then film for me, it became a very big thing towards the end of secondary school. So I picked it in college, film studies, and then that's where it really took off the passion for me.
Yeah, for the FilmIsRidley stuff in particular, how long would you say you've been doing that for?
I think 2017 is when I started, and it was the account was originally my main account, and I think it had a different name and everything. So it would have personal pictures and everything, and then every now and then I'd just post a picture from a film that I just watched, and I'd be like, oh, this was really cool, and I'd write a sentence or two about it. And I started thinking, this is actually kind of cool, I quite like this. So it became more and more about the films, and then I decided, I'll go for this. So I got rid of all the personal posts and just left it as films.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of been happening ever since, really.
Yeah.
So.
Do you find you get... there's an audience for it, people do interact. Do you find you get... Is it always positive?
It's interesting that you say that. It has been until literally the other day on the last review I did. So, the last one I posted was for Ponyo, Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah.
And it had been requested by someone repeatedly.
Oh, okay.
So I was quite excited for it.
Yeah.
Because I was someone wants me to do a specific review. So I wrote the review, I posted it. I even sent it to them on Instagram and be like, look, I did the review for you. And then they commented something I can't really repeat because it's full of expletives. It was just horrible. And I was sat there like, you asked for this.
Oh, I did this for you.
Yeah. After all this time, it was bizarre because they planned it, kind of thing, and I'm sat there thinking, but why? Because I had no idea who the person is.
Oh wow, that's even stranger.
But to be fair, other than that, it is universally positive. I've had people that I maybe spoke to once or twice in college, and that's about it. They will message me, or if I've seen them in person, they've said to me like, oh, I enjoy looking at this. I use it to find film recommendations, things to watch. I'm like, perfect. That's what I want. That's literally the whole point of it.
Yeah.
That's why I make them spoiler free as well, because I don't want people reading them and thinking, oh, it's just now I know this person dies.
Yeah.
What's the point in watching it? Because
Yeah.
I hate spoilers with a passion.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
I don't, like, sometimes I will look for a spoiler, but that's different than accidentally stumbling.
Look for a spoiler?
Yeah, sometimes I want to know what's going to happen.
Why? It ruins it.
Because then I like to see it play out on screen. I think, oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
No.
But I don't want to ever stumble across a spoiler, because that will really ruin it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, what did I spoil? I spoil, like TV series. I'll see clips from them all the time.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to put off watching them. Because, you know, Game of Thrones is a perfect example. I have never seen Game of Thrones, purely for the reason that every time I get round to wanting to watch it, I see a clip or something that spoils a massive scene, or someone will say something that spoils something massive. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I was going to watch that.
You know, I want to forget the names of you know, the people who die, because obviously the show is famous for lots of deaths.
Yeah.
You know, I want it to be a fresh experience. You know,
where do you see FilmIsRidley? You know, that kind of brand. Where do you see it going? Is it always going to be the film reviews, or?
I would say so. I mean, obviously, I've kind of set up. I haven't started yet, but I've set up the Lost Boy podcast, which is something I do want to go into. Obviously, I do this as well, and I really enjoy that. But I think this one maybe for kind of, you know, my kind of section of what I want to do as far as podcasting goes. You know, especially if I'm away at university, it'll be trickier for us to make content. So it's something for me to do while I'm away, especially. You know, so that is something I want to kind of intertwine with FilmIsRidley. But other than that, I want to keep growing my audience. You know.
Yeah. Like, you found something that I'd say you're good at. Just stick with it and, you know, keep growing it, I suppose.
Yeah. It still feels like a bit of fun and I guess a hobby for me, which I think is good, because it felt like a chore. Like, oh god, I've got to bloody review this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, then I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, so I like having something to do in my spare time.
Definitely. What has been your favourite moment so far in terms of creating content?
Favourite moment? So, see, that depends. If we're talking kind of the films I've made as well.
Yeah, including that. Pretty much all, like, that sort of content. Yeah.
Okay. In which case, obviously this wasn't filmed, but when I did the read through for my short film, the longest short film that I've made, the first time I did a read through, me, the actors, and some of the crew were sat in a room, and we just read through the script, you know, and it was the first time I felt, oh, this is actually it's gonna get made. You know, we're sat down with actors that we've hired, and we're gonna make this thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, for those who don't know, it was a disaster. I've decided to dedicate one of the future Lost Boy podcast episodes to talking about that.
Wow, that'd be a good episode.
Because there's a lot to get into.
I can't wait for that.
It was a horrible disaster, but I still love the film because I directed and wrote it. Well, co-wrote it. I think I wrote about 3/4 of it. And directed all but a few scenes. But yeah, long story short, anything that could have gone wrong did go wrong.
Oh, wow.
But
you learned from it.
That first read-through was amazing. Yeah. You know, I really enjoyed it. I was so proud of myself.
And kind of building on from that, everything that went wrong can go wrong sort of thing, is what's been your biggest struggle as a creator? This
is gonna sound so boring. Motivation. You know, because I have a lot of ideas of, I want to make this short film and I can do it by myself. I have lots of ideas like that, or, you know, something like this. You know, creating a video or the podcast is just finding the motivation, and to be honest, when I'm at uni, the time to sit down in front of a camera or with a mic if I'm doing a podcast and just record. You know, it's very tricky to do. It's more time consuming than you think. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people could relate to that. It's like having all these ideas, but then the time and the motivation is... everyone needs more of that. Absolutely. Back to the movie reviews. What's one thing you'd wish you'd known at the start? Something you know now, but you're like, I wish I knew that when you first began. With my film reviews? I kind of wish I'd known to, I guess, write them a bit longer and maybe emphasise the fact that they're spoiler free, because I didn't really do that until literally this year, because I never really thought to do it, and then I kind of realised in a conversation with my sister, I said, "Oh, have you read my latest review?" She went, "No, I don't want any spoilers." And I thought, after all these years, I never thought to talk about the fact that they're spoiler free.
Yeah.
So some people would have actively avoided them, thinking there will be spoilers.
I think that's... yeah, it's not something you'd think about yourself, but then to some outsider, if you see a film review, they'll think, oh, there's going to be, you know, at least one spoiler.
Yeah, there'll be something.
Yeah.
You know, I like to think I'm very prude with my approach to the reviews. I won't spoil events. Oftentimes, I will be quite prudent with even mentioning character names. You know, just in case, especially if it's a sequel, for example.
Yeah.
You know, because you never know, a character could have died in the first film, for example. You know, and you don't want to then mention, like, if they've come back in the second one. Yeah. And you mention that character name.
That's an interesting point. I've not thought about that.
Yeah. So I like to think I'm very reserved with the stuff I reveal. I will be like, hey, this actor put in a good performance, or the storyline was very good until the end, where I didn't like what they did with a twist. Yeah. Or the middle felt boring. You know, it felt like a sagging table kind of thing. I'll say things like that. I won't actually say this specific moment. You know, because I feel like it. You know, it spoils the surprise for people. Yeah.
Similar question with something you'd wish you'd known at the start for your film making, as you...
the actual filmmaking. Yeah. How long have you got? Preparation. You can never under-prepare. My goodness. Yeah, I think that is probably the main one, because we had a lot of things, like a lot of issues on that big film that could have been solved if we just properly sat in a room and hashed that out properly. In fairness, we were first-year film students. Making a lot of us had never made a film before. You know, for example, I'd never made a film. I'd never directed anything before. This was my first time doing it. So obviously we were going to make mistakes. But I just wish we'd been a bit more organised and prepared. The other thing I'll say, lighting. You know, that film, it's terrible lighting. Honestly, I feel sorry for the people watching it. Some of it is so grainy.
Oh, well, hey, we have to go through these things to learn and then build upon,
To be fair, you can tell from the start of filming, the first few scenes to the last few scenes we filmed, you can tell there's an improvement.
Oh, that's good.
in lighting, camera angles, even acting to an extent, you can all see the improvement there, which I think is the most important thing with a student film.
What advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a career similar to yours?
Screenwriting and film production kind of thing? Do the work with screenwriting, and in fact making films. Do it in your own time. It's such a cliche. Like every person who works in film, you know, when they tell you like how to get better, they'll say do it in your own time. Yeah. Practice screenwriting, you know, because it's not a skill you can just do. You know, I like to think I'm quite a natural writer. You know. And it's something, it sounds kind of vain, but it's something I've always been told is I'm a good natural writer. But even I struggle with formatting. I forget sometimes, you know, you make mistakes, so you need to practice it and practice it. Same with actual filmmaking, because that's how you find issues like I did with the lighting. Yeah. You know, or sound or editing, you know, just practice it, redo it. It will suck for a while, but once you get good, it becomes second nature, you know, and next thing you know, you're making genuinely really good content. Definitely. Yeah. I
think most people have people they would look up to or see as like an influence or an inspiration. So who would you say your three... Yeah, your three, if you have three. Yeah. Your three kind of, like, that's what I want to be like, they've influenced me, that sort of thing.
Okay, boy. Right. This is a good one. Okay. The first one is potentially controversial, and it's the most cliche thing a film fan can say. Okay. Quentin Tarantino. Oh, but yes. not for his personality, not even necessarily for his films, but just the knowledge he has of films, music, pop culture, You know, I would love to be that knowledgeable, and the way he writes his scripts, to be honest, is quite impressive. So I guess the writing, the way he does dialogue especially, is so impressive. So the dialogue and the overall knowledge. You know, that's he would definitely be up there for one. Boy, two more. This is trickier than I expected. Wow. Because I'm trying to think, would I say like Kubrick or something like that? I'm trying not to sound too cliche film student as well. Like, here's someone you've never heard of.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I will say Stanley Kubrick, actually, just because he's genuinely iconic. You know, and some of his camera shots, and you know, just in general his filmmaking. You know, he's made some really, really iconic films, and I'd like to think even if I made one iconic film, I could die happy. You know, I would love that. You know what? I'm gonna say Ridley Scott.
There we go.
Because this is something we looked into in A-level film studies. His set design. He likes to be very intricate with it. He likes to be very detailed with it. You know, because when he was younger, he went to the Royal College of Arts or something like that, and he used to do set design for the BBC kind of thing. So I'd like to have that kind of creative mind when it came to the visuals of it. You know, what's on screen, what's in the background. You know, it could be in the shot for a second. You know, but it's detailed and it's got a life of its own. And it feels real. All you have to do is watch Blade Runner. You know, some of the scenes where he's walking through the streets. It's brilliant. It's so subtle, but it's so well done. So I'd like to be able to achieve something like that, I guess.
Yeah,
in terms
I'd say so.
Making it.
That would be really good.
There we go. 3.
There you go. You got your 3 in there. So for the work you have done, you know, the short films, the film reviews, things like that, what is the best compliment you've ever received about them?
Best compliment. I think someone I didn't really know that well messaged me. I think I kind of alluded to this earlier, but they messaged me saying, I really enjoy looking through your review account to find films to watch, and because that was the aim. So it's definitely felt like one of the best compliments I've got for it. Other than that, because I'm egotistical, whenever someone compliments my writing ability, you know, it really feeds the flames in my literary ego. You know, so I enjoy that.
And finally, last question today, are you working on anything exciting at the moment?
Well, you know, the review mill is always in the works, you know, because I'm always watching films, or I debate doing TV series reviews. Yeah. Because usually, unless it's a limited series, there's a lot of episodes to do. So there's plenty of TV series I could do, because over the last year and a half, I've watched so many. Yeah. But yeah, so the review mill is always turning, you know, so there'll be reviews every few days kind of thing. Other than that, I do a lot of, not necessarily full-on screenwriting, but I certainly plan things. I have a little idea I've been working on. It's called Carefree Kyle. Alright. I won't say too much more, but that's kind of my main idea at the moment that I'm working on, and I think I will write that. I'm quite proud of it.
Oh, there's an exclusive coming soon, perhaps. Yeah. So that is all the questions I have for you today, Ridley. Wonderful. Thank you for taking part.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. I mean, don't tell the others this until they see it for themselves. But that was my favourite interview so far. So
there we go.
Thank you again. Don't forget to check out Ridley and all his pages. All links are in the description. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.